Hey everyone, sorry for the change in quality to open this video. I am sitting in my car filming this introduction because I'm about to walk into work, and I'll be editing and finishing up this part 3 of the Tetris tutorial series in Unity, sitting at my desk, pretending to do other things. So that being said, this part 3 is going to just be going over tidying some things up and showing you a cool way I've found a few years back to make retro style music. It's fun, easy, intuitive, and that's going to be the bulk of what this video is focused on. How I make those, and then just bringing them into Unity and getting all of that set up so that the audio is happening the way you expect. Let's go. So the first thing that we're going to do is outside of Unity. We're going to just go to Google and search BeepBox. This is a web app that was created years ago by some very amazing, generous person. And it's really grown in its functionality and its capabilities, but keeping it really simple, you can go to this site and just very quickly start throwing notes down and tinkering with them and modifying them however you see fit. There's lots of settings you can play with here in terms of, setting up the scale to be fully chromatic if you're musically advanced enough for that, or you can just leave it as the basic scale that's there, and if you do that, it makes it difficult to mess up. Your mileage is going to vary here depending on your musical ability going into it. But the point is, it's going to meet you where you're at. If you're at a pretty basic level with your musical ability, you're still going to be able to make something that sounds cool. And if you're a bit more advanced in music, there's a lot for you to play with here that can make it sound really nice and exactly how you want. Just dive into it and tinker with it. I'm not going to go into super great detail on what you can do here, mostly just showing you that this site is here and giving you the opportunity to play with it. So when you're finished making your song, you're going to go over here and you're going to export this file. And once you've done that, it's really simple, really straightforward to bring it into Unity and get it all working. Okay, so now that we've got Unity opened back up, all we have to do to make this play while we're playing the game, we'll create a game object and we'll just call it soundtrack. Now on our empty game object, we'll add an audio component that's going to allow us to sync up this music. I'm going to make a folder called audio, and in there we're going to make another folder called music, and we'll put our music files into that folder. You don't have to do this, but it's just nice to know where things are because it's all organized. The bigger your projects get, the more important this kind of stuff becomes, so it's a good habit to get into. We're going to take the file that we exported, and we're going to just drag it in here. And that's it. Now when you play the game, this game object is in your scene, it's just going to play. If we want to make it so that the music only starts playing when we hit play, what we need to do is uncheck this so that it doesn't play on awake. We need something to trigger it to tell it, hey, it's time to start playing. We're going to go to our little button here for play, and we're going to add a behavior, and we're just going to drag the audio source into it, and we're going to click over here, and we're going to make it play when we hit this button. I'm going to give you a pretty simple exercise to try this out for yourself. Here's the concept. Right now, it's just silent when we start the game, and then the music plays when we hit play, right? Which is exactly what we told it to do. It's a little weird for your game to be running and to not have sound. So, how would you make it so that there is music playing when the game starts? Something more mellow and calm, like menu music that you would expect to hear, and then have that stop when you hit play and have the exciting action music of the gameplay start when you hit play. Go ahead and give that a shot. It shouldn't be too complicated. If you get stuck, leave a comment and I'll tell you how to do it there. But I'm not going to walk you through that right now. I think that should be an easy enough thing to figure out on your own. But see if you can do that. It'll add a little more polish and professionalism to this little project we've made here. Okay, so that wraps it up for our third and final part of our Tetris and Unity tutorial series. There are plenty of things we could do to improve this, to refine it. There's no sound effects right now. That's something I would challenge you to add. You should have everything you need to figure out how to do that. You know, where in the code do you want certain sound effects to trigger? Like maybe when a line clears, should an effect play there? That could be nice. I've added an example of how I did it in a game manager script to the description that you're welcome to download and check out. I'm not normally going to just give you scripts and descriptions for you to download and copy paste things to, but acting on good faith and assuming that you've actually gone through the series and you've reached the end now, I can give you something to look at and kind of compare with what you've done and see how it matches up with what I did. So yeah, challenge yourself. Don't just use AI to do everything for you. Trust me, that's not good for you in the long run and not good for the world. You know, we need people who are legitimately problem solving on their own or with other humans. And that's the end of my AI soapbox for the day. Big thank you to everybody who leaves a like, a comment, who's subscribed to the channel, to Patreon. I really appreciate you, and you're the whole reason I do all this. Thanks also to everybody who checks out my games on Steam, my book on Amazon. Really appreciate all of you, and I will see you next time.